Hello everyone. My name is Anya and I'm a 10th grader in high school right now. I live in Forest Ranch, which is in San Diego, California. And I think a quote that really speaks to me is the dawn won't spread the brightest light if there is no darkness. So I find that quote really beautiful. And sometimes I heard it from a song and I just listen to that song and it makes me feel happier. So today I'm going to be doing an emergency preparedness presentation. So I'll just share my screen real quick.
And just for those of us who don't know, tell us a little bit about what it means to get your Gold Star in Girl Scouts.
Yeah, so the Girl Scout Gold Award is I guess the biggest award that a Girl Scout can achieve. It goes bronze, silver, and gold. Bronze award is elementary school, silver award is middle school, and gold award is high school. So I'm currently working on my gold award, and the purpose of the gold award is to foster a sustainable change in your community. So something that will stay beyond your involvement in it. So I was created a website. Like, I think knowledge stays forever and it's something that you can spread to other people too. So that's my goal with this project. And so I just wanted to do a quick, like, kind of raise your hand sort of thing. Like, how many of you have an emergency kit prepared or a plan prepared? Just not me. Oh, so 1, 2, 3, 4.
Looks like maybe
Okay.
about half of us, I would say.
Yeah, I actually have. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so hopefully, for those of you who have a kit or don't have a kit, you'll get more exposure to what you might want to include or more knowledge. So I'll just take it right away. So I'm a Girl Scout senior, which is the second highest rank. The highest rank I will get when I become a senior in high school, which is an ambassador. So thank you for joining me today for this emergency preparedness workshop. This is a very crucial topic that we often overlook, and it is very important that we prepare before it is too late. So first off, fires. The past 5 years, there have been an average of 3,037 fires in California, with over 96,585 acres burnt per year. California is number 1 in the United States for most fires annually. But what causes these fires? There are numerous causes of fires, including power lines or electrical equipment, sparks from vehicles, campfires, and many more. To prepare for this natural disaster, it is critical that you prepare an emergency kit. The essentials in this kit are water, food, a flashlight with extra batteries, your cell phone, first aid kit, and medication, but it is also recommended that you include personal hygiene items, copies of important documents, emergency contact information, extra money, maps, and a change of clothing as well. However, this emergency kit will not be useful unless you establish an escape or evacuation plan. Meet with your family and friends and plan out what you would do in the case of a fire, from escape routes and meeting places to possible shelters and safe destinations to evacuate to. Make a family communication plan. Prepare your home by checking your smoke alarms every month to bi-monthly, and change batteries whenever necessary. Keep vital records and documents like passports, birth certificates, and medical records in a safe place that you can locate easily. Most importantly, make sure that you have a way to stay informed of any potential dangers or risks in the case of a disaster. Note down your friends, family, caregivers, and neighbors' phone numbers in one place. Keep emergency contact information as well, such as your local neighborhood emergency teams and volunteer fire departments. And of course, inform and help as many people as you can, if possible. Some tips for your emergency kit and plan are, firstly, you can try to invest in a fireproof safe if possible. It is often difficult to take everything valuable along with you when evacuating, so you can keep all of these items in the safe before evacuating and they will stay intact even if your home is hit by the fire. However, these safes are often costly and it is entirely your choice if you want to buy one. In this technologically advanced day and age, it would also be a good idea to take help from someone or do it yourself and scan all important documents like passports and birth certificates and keep them on folders in your phone. You can even make a physical folder with these documents and keep them in a place where you can easily grab them in the case of an evacuation. If you make an online folder, you can also include important links to websites with updates and emergency contact information. Around 10% of residents stay back and defend their homes even when they are ordered to evacuate. This is very dangerous and often leads to an increased number of injuries and casualties. The best time to evacuate your home or place of residency is when authorities recommend that you do so. Fires spread extremely fast, and by the time they order that you evacuate, the chances of you being too late are much higher. However, if the authorities have yet to recommend an evacuation of your area, as long as they have not recommended anything yet, it is entirely your choice whether you want to evacuate or not. However, this time should be used to prepare for evacuations because fires are unpredictable. Shelter in place and get everything necessary for your safety ready to go. Another way to determine whether or not you need to evacuate is checking fire maps like this one. This is on california.gov. These maps allow for you to see where the nearest fires are, how much they have been contained, and when the information was last updated. This information is also available on my website, which you can access anytime after this workshop. In the case of an evacuation, clear the area around your home of any flammable materials, including sticks and brush, and grab your prepared emergency kit. Collect all of your valuables and electronics, pets, and all important documents, including insurance and passports. If at an assisted living center, follow directions given by staff and medical professionals present and gather all of your belongings. Carry out your predetermined escape plan. Wear appropriate clothing and try to carpool with others. Make your way to your designated place of safety, which can be a shelter, family member's home, safe meeting place for all of your friends and family, or where you are ordered to go based on your location and situation. Stay calm and do not ever go running back into a burning building. If you are on a wheelchair, exit your home and signal for help. While it is very, very difficult to stay away from your home, uncertain of its state, you must only return when the authorities declare that it is safe for your return and the state of emergency is relieved. If you do not know where to evacuate to, simply search up on Google evacuation centers near me. Results on Google Maps should come up, and all you have to do is click the nearest open shelter and directions will be provided to you. A notification asking if you want to enable location services might pop up. You need to click allow, otherwise Google will not be able to give you directions. But don't worry, if you accidentally click don't allow or ignore the notification, all you have to do is enter your current address. Make your way to the evacuation center safely, as there is a high chance that there will be a lot of traffic. Be cautious and do your best to help others that may need it. When returning home, check for gas or chemical leaks and any remaining fires. Shut off damaged electronics, check on your neighbors, and call your family to tell them that you made it home safe. Next, earthquakes. Every year, California experiences around 2 to 3 major earthquakes with a magnitude over 5.5 out of 10. Every 3 minutes, there's an earthquake in California, but most are so minor that we don't even feel them. California is the second most seismically active state in the United States. This is because of the San Andreas Fault, which extends for 800 miles or 1,200 kilometers right through California. The fault is currently in a critical state and may even crack. Similar to fires, there is a map that can be accessed to view the most recent earthquakes and their magnitude. Not only will this help with general knowledge, but it will also help you predict where possible aftershocks may occur and if you should be worried about your situation. This information is in the left column right here, and you can check for any part of the world, let alone California. Here is a simple 6-step plan to help you prepare yourself and your home for earthquakes and evacuation. 1. Check for hazards. Fasten shelves to walls, store breakable items in closed cupboards, and hang heavy items away from beds and chairs. 2nd, identify safe places. Where would you go when the earthquake starts? Some common places are under a table, desk, or bed. 3rd, stay informed. Read about what more you can do. The Red Cross has great manuals, which I will link later, and safety guides. Inform grandchildren and children of what you learn too. Next, create a kit. Include the same materials in your kit that you would include in the fire kit. The kit should be ready at all times and portable. 5th, develop a plan. Where would you go once the earthquake starts? Who would you call for help? If with family, where will you meet them? Answer all of these questions and write them down and plan everything out. Last but not least, help your community. Make sure your neighbors know what to do as well. Tell your close family and friends of your plan so that they know where to find you in the case of an emergency. If an earthquake occurs, follow the steps in this image. As you can see, in each of the rows, the common thing is that the person is covering their head. No matter where you are, make sure that you use your hands to cover your head, as we know that that is the most important part of our body and it must stay covered at all times. If you can go under a table, desk, or even bed, please do so. Make sure that if you're using a walker or wheelchair, you lock it and then cover your head. Okay. Check if you have any injuries, and if you do, get help. If in a damaged building, find your way out safely, but do not enter buildings that are already damaged. If you are trapped, protect yourself from inhaling dust by covering your mouth with a cloth, if possible. Once you have made your way to safety, tune into local news stations and execute your plan. Find family and friends and get everyone to safety at a shelter, which can be a building that is not damaged, hospital, etc. Expect aftershocks and move around with caution. Be careful with post-disaster cleanup and do not attempt to move heavy debris without assistance. If you really want to help, make sure that you wear protective clothing. Upon re-entering your home, be very careful and do not handle broken glass. Be aware of hanging items that may fall on your head and check for damage before handling electronics to avoid electrocution. What to do in an aftershock? Stay calm and stay inside if you can. Assume a safe position, as diagrammed earlier, as far away from windows and doors as possible. If you are outside, stay in an open area, away from power lines and trees, or anything else that can potentially fall on you and injure you. Earthquakes are horrifying experiences, but preparing yourself and knowing what to do will decrease your chances of injury. Natural disasters affect your physical situation tremendously, but in order to save yourself and evacuate properly, we must discuss mental health and natural disasters. When a natural disaster occurs, it is often difficult to avoid panic. This can cloud your judgment and without any preparation can lead to panic attacks and irrational behavior. There are a couple of things you can do to combat this. The first is writing down phone numbers of loved ones and friends. This way you will not forget their numbers, especially when in a stressful situation. Call them if you are worried and let them know of the emergency. They can provide possible solutions and places for you to evacuate to. Know and list evacuation centers near you. Identify which one is most suitable for your needs and convenient in terms of your location. Most importantly, you need to make a plan and practice through mock drills monthly if possible. If this is a bit of a reach, try to practice at least every 2 to 3 months so that you do not forget your plan when it comes time for you to execute it. This is the biggest factor in reducing the chances of panic. Making a plan like the one on the screen and even writing it down or printing it out will make evacuation and escape a smoother process. We often think that we will be safe from disaster and that the chances of a disaster reaching us or occurring in our areas is little to none. However, this mindset is often the most dangerous when it comes to natural disasters. Accepting your situation and preparing regardless of the probability of it occurring to you will keep you from losing your cool or calmness in an emergency. According to a meta-analysis reported on PubMed.gov, older adults were 2.11 times more likely to experience PTSD symptoms and 1.73 times more likely to develop adjustment disorder when exposed to natural disasters when compared to younger adults. To combat this is what you can do to take care of yourself and others. The signs or symptoms of PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder, are reoccurring traumatic flashbacks and memories, avoidance of the subject, negative changes in lifestyle such as mood swings and intense emotional reactions to small events, and insomnia, or the inability to sleep. Help is required once the aforementioned symptoms continue for over a month or become increasingly severe. If it is difficult to go back to normal or control yourself, you must get help. Suicidal thoughts are the biggest red flag and show that you need to get help immediately. Call your close friends, family, or any loved or trusted ones and tell them about your situation. If you are having suicidal thoughts, call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-TALK or 1-800-273-8255. This is a very important number, and you must call it if in a difficult situation. They are here to help you. Don't be afraid. Making an appointment with your doctor or a mental health specialist is also very important. Since we are currently in a pandemic, the best thing to do would be to schedule an online video call with them. As always, call 911 or your local emergency number in the case of an emergency. This next topic is a bit more relevant as we are currently experiencing one: pandemics. Pandemics spread like wildfire, and it is crucial that you get ready even when the chances of it spreading to you are slim. But how do you prepare for something as unpredictable as a pandemic? Store extra supplies. Any kit that you would use for any other emergency is sufficient. Make sure you have extras of all your medication and contact doctors for copies of medical records. Watch the news to stay updated and take all necessary precautions. Stock up your house with extra necessities, including food and sanitary supplies. Carry sanitizers, and most importantly, wash your hands. Do not go out even if you have a minor cough or cold. All of these steps will keep you safe even if the virus has not yet reached your area. It can be hard to tell if you or anyone around you is carrying the virus before they show any symptoms. For your health, it is imperative that you take these precautions. Senior citizens are a population at risk. Thus, they have to socially isolate themselves to stay away from viruses. When living alone, mental health deteriorates. Dr. Dilip V. Jesse explains, loneliness rivals smoking and obesity in its impact on shortening longevity. As you can see from this map, California is colored blue, dark blue, meaning it is one of the states with a higher percentage of adults with depression over the age of 50. So how do we prevent this? Stay physically active, and if you need to, use indoor tools for walking, like a treadmill. However, the best thing to do is walk outside with a mask. Maybe even shorten your worrying time to only 15 minutes a day and maintain social connections. Call your family daily and see if you can learn how to become more active on social media and make more connections. While watching the news is important, as I mentioned earlier, it can negatively affect your mental health if you watch it too much. Find a new hobby or passion and immerse yourself into it. Join online clubs. There are so many possibilities. Make sure you focus on the positive and practice healthy coping. If you're feeling angry or sad, maybe even vent your feelings into a journal. I know that works for me. And try yoga. If you need help and you find yourself not mentally stable, make sure you call your physician, reach out to a mental health specialist, try online therapy, and inform your family and friends. Here are some resources for you in obtaining resources in the case of a lockdown. We have grocery delivery services, meal delivery services, nutrition benefit programs, and others. These will all be on my website. And these are, this is the CDC's guide, and I believe that this is the Red Cross's guide. Both of them are really helpful and provide a lot of thorough, in-depth information on different situations and what must be done. So I really, really suggest that you check these out. These will also be linked on my website. Now it is your turn to form your disaster readiness plan. You can even download apps like the Emergency Preparedness Manual. This is an app on the App Store for Apple devices. So if you have an Android, I'm pretty sure there's another app that you can use that's similar to this, but you can, as you can see, there are different natural disasters, like this is earthquakes, and you just click on it and it provides really good information on what to do in the case of an earthquake. As you may have seen, some of the emergencies and natural disasters were locked, which you can purchase if you want to view that information. And prepare and educate yourself to ensure your safety and happiness. Thank you for attending my workshop, and now I'm open to any questions. This is a link to my website, and I can put that in the chat if that's fine.
Thank you, Anya. That was very thorough. We really appreciate it. I can tell you put a lot of time and energy into that presentation. And we have done a lot of emergency preparedness programs through the foundation, and you really did a great job of covering all the bases. I've heard a lot of community emergency response trainers who present to the public, so maybe that's a future career path for you. You never know. I did want to mention that the foundation, this was pre-pandemic, we would do emergency preparedness training sessions for seniors, and we would give out these emergency go bags that are red and look like this, and inside them we had these very delicious food rations. And there's actually a box of water in there, and then there's a first aid kit and a emergency survival blanket, glow sticks, and other items that you can use when there's an emergency. It's a go bag, so it is designed for something when you're fleeing your home, specifically like if you have to flee your home for a wildfire, or maybe there's an earthquake and you need to escape. So we do have these bags. I still have some available, so I was thinking maybe I can make them available to the participants of Coffee Connection, but I need to do an inventory of them first to make sure I have enough, because they've been in storage for about a year, so I don't really know what our inventory is yet. But anyway, I did want to mention that. And I have, even prior to my role here with the foundation, I did a lot of emergency preparedness programs when I worked at a transit district. And our family, we've done a lot of emergency preparedness in this house. In addition to this red go bag, I have in our garage, I have an earthquake kit. And that kit is not designed for us to grab and go if there's an emergency. It's something that we would use if we have to stay home, because I know I grew up in Northern California, and during the big earthquake in '89, a lot of people were required to stay home for a week or two, because basically the freeways and the infrastructure was all shut down around the Bay Area. And so we have items in there that would help sustain us for a week if we needed to. And in addition to that, every year or so, when I go through like our old clothes for giveaway, I'll usually tuck a couple of articles of clothing in a suitcase that I keep in our closet by our front door. And that's something that I would also grab if we had to evacuate, just so we have extra clothes, because I don't anticipate us having time. If there's a big wildfire, I live right by open space here. There's a big canyon system about a block away from my house. So I always envision myself, if that fire starts coming up this canyon here, we're gonna have minutes to get out. So I keep all of our important documents in one folder, and it's really just like our marriage and our birth certificates and our passports, and a couple of keepsake items for my boys when they were born. I keep that in this one folder, and it's something I can grab and go if the emergency strikes. And then I back up everything, all of my digital photos and videos. I back up everything on this tiny little external hard drive, which is something I would recommend for all of you if you keep digital photos. I don't really print out photos anymore, but I keep everything digitally. And this is going to be one thing that I would not leave behind. I would grab this and go. It also has like all my work documents backed up on it, all my personal contacts backed up. So those are the go bag, the suitcase full of old clothes, the folder full of important documents, and the external hard drive. Those are 4 things that I always make sure I know where they are, and I'm ready to grab them if I have to go. So I like that. But one thing I have not done, you made me think of, is talk to my family about how we would escape the house if there was a fire in the house. And we have a 2-story house, and we all sleep upstairs. So probably should have that conversation. We should figure out what our escape route would be. But I know we're getting close. Actually, it's already 11 o'clock. So if you have to leave, we appreciate you being here. And I just want to thank Anya for her time. She did a great job. I hope you can deliver that presentation to more seniors in the future. I'm willing to stay on the call if anybody has questions. Anya, do you have a little bit of time to stay on the call to answer questions for our participants?
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. Does anybody have any questions or comments for Anya? Sue, I saw you first. Hi, Sue.
Yes, if you're in a mobile home and there's an earthquake, where do you go?
That's a good question. So it depends on if your mobile home was damaged. So if your mobile home was not damaged, then you would stay at home. And I'm pretty sure that authorities near you would recommend what to do based on your situation, because it really varies situation to situation. And if your mobile home is damaged, I would suggest evacuating somewhere else, or seeing if you can live with family or friends for some time until everything gets repaired and everything.
So this is a big issue, because I know there was like one mobile home community in particular in North County, San Diego, and the wildfire just came through and wiped out about half the units in a matter of an hour. And because they're so close together, they can really, like, if one ignites, a bunch can. You need to see if you have a clubhouse or a homeowners association or the manager of your community, and see what their plan is. By law, they are required to have an emergency plan. Sue?
So say you're sitting there and an earthquake just happened. So it's happening right now. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do? We're on piers. I mean,
go ahead, Anya.
An earthquake, okay. Hide under a desk or a bed, cover your head. Make sure you do that, because it's okay if your arms get a little scratches, but your head should not get touched. Make sure you move away if possible, if the earthquake is not being too intense, or make sure you move away from places where things can fall on you, like away from shelves, away from fans, away from large TV areas and electrical equipment. If it is a very severe earthquake and you can't move, just drop down if possible, or crouch down a little bit and cover your head, because I know intensity of earthquakes varies. I hope that answers your question.
if there's being on piers, if the earthquake is like, let's say a 6-point or 7-point something, and having on piers, would the mobile home just collapse on the piers and you're down on the ground?
Hopefully not, but wait, can you repeat that? Sorry.
Well, I'm kind of thinking some mobile homes are on piers that's holding them up off the ground. And if there's a big earthquake going back and forth, is the mobile home going to come off the piers and we're going to end up in the street somewhere? Or that's what we were concerned about.
Oh, yeah, that's a valid concern. Well, I'm not really familiar with like mobile homes and such, but I can say that do whatever you can to uh, secure your home more, or for your safety in the case that happens, like move things around in your house, see what you can do just to prevent that, because as I said, I'm not familiar with the situation, but in the case of it, like do what you can based on your judgment to see like, okay, if this happens, I should do this just in case, just to prevent that situation from happening to
We
you.
bought a whistle in case we get buried, because you never know. So
Yes.
we have a whistle close by.
Whistle is important. I think generally if an earthquake is coming on and it's an intense one, so 6 or 7, they do not recommend you try to run out of the house or go somewhere else. Your best course of action is to stay where you are, but to get down low, cover your head. Like if you happen to be sitting on a couch, you can get just right by the couch, in front of the couch, or if there's a coffee table, try to get under the coffee table. If you're in bed, stay in bed. That's what they're saying now. Like 10 years ago, they used to say, get out of bed and try to get away from your bed. But now they're saying, stay in your bed, just curl up in a fetal position, cover your head. You want to really, you put yourself in harm's way if you start running around in the middle of an earthquake, because you're more likely to fall or to run into something, or if a window breaks, you might run into the glass. So I think it's important to think about, if it's a real serious earthquake, just look about like the 3 feet where you are, what's going to be the safest.
Right, and the houses are more secure, they're solid, but in a mobile home, it's like living in a tin can.
Right,
So,
right.
just not really know what.
Well, at least we don't have tornadoes here.
Exactly.
Joanna, hi, Joanna. I know you joined us a little bit late, but we did have we started at 10 o'clock, so we're about an hour into our presentation now. And we had Anya give a presentation on senior emergency preparedness today.
I'm sorry I'm late, because in my brain I had 11 o'clock.
Okay. Are you in California? Where are you calling from?
California.
Okay. Yeah, we start at 10 every Friday.
Yeah, okay. Could I just add a little to this thing? Okay. Well, I was working on an earthquake and fire evacuation for our mobile home park, but I found out that for earthquake, you really want to stay put. And it's nice to know how many piers you have under your mobile home. Like I have 60, and they told me it's not going to go anywhere in an earthquake, but I don't believe it. Anyway, to stay put in the earthquake, I think the whistle thing is a good idea. And if your mobile home is still intact, I would just say stay there for a while. And then maybe, later look out, see what's going on. Other than that, we have a fire evacuation here. That was one of our concerns, how to get people out of here quickly. And we don't want to evacuate for the earthquake, but we do have volunteers intact here that would help people who need help. So,
Right.
I don't know what mobile home court other folks belong to, but Betty and I are at Rancho Calavera. Hi, Betty.
Well, good. I hope you can join us at 10 o'clock next week, Joanna.
I do too.
I saw a couple other questions. Let's see. Marilyn had one. Go ahead, Marilyn. And then Marlene, you'll be next.
What do you do in a situation where, like I know a couple, elderly couple, they don't drive, they're not able to drive, but they're, kind of physically disabled more or less. And I was wondering, in a quick evacuation of fire or whatever, what do they do? Because a lot of people they're so busy trying to help their own families and get their cars back. What do you do how can they get help to get the heck out of their house if there's a big fire?
Yeah,
we recommended people, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Anna.
go ahead. I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Well, anyway, we recommended that before this tragedy arises, that people pair up with neighbors. Make sure your neighbor knows, well, you know, I don't drive or I have this handicap. And people who are in motorized wheelchairs, we have one gentleman here in a motorized wheelchair, a young gentleman, he's only 30. And we're going to get the message out to him that he get a manual wheelchair to put into the trunk of a car so his neighbors could drive him. So you have to pair up with a neighbor that knows you're incapacitated, you're not able to get out.
Well, in this case, they don't really have friends and their family. They don't have anybody. So I'm just.
Oh, do they live in a mobile home park?
No, a regular neighborhood.
Okay, so they got to make sure that their neighbors know that they're going to be joining them, either on their right or their left. Now you say, well, they don't know them, but she's going to have to get to know them.
Well, they're very, very difficult people too. I know them. And it's like, it's going to, I mean, well, the fire department, or the extent, and, you know, I'm just saying with them, it's a kind of a difficult, really difficult.
Sure.
Right.
Psychologically too.
Right.
Sure.
Right. Anya, do you have any other suggestions for that dilemma?
No, I completely agree with what Joanna said. It was very insightful. And yeah, you said that you mentioned that it was difficult for them to talk to other people and get along with other people. Maybe talk to them about that, tell them about the importance of this topic. Hopefully they understand better and realize that, okay, I really need to make this at least just one connection with my neighbors. Doesn't have to be a connection, just like maybe like we're gonna be there for each other, kind of understanding. And yeah, hopefully their situation gets better.
And if Marilyn knows this couple or these people, perhaps Marilyn could go and speak with them and ask them, would they be willing to go with you or have their neighbors come to their house with you as an intermediary? You know, if they're difficult.
Sometimes it takes, you know, telling them that during a moment of emergency, especially a wildfire, they may not be able to be rescued. You know, especially now with climate change and the way wildfires sweep through neighborhoods in California, the winds are so strong and so hot these days that the emergency responders cannot stay ahead of some of these fires. And there may be enough time for them to get out if they see the fire coming, but once the fire has reached their neighborhood, there may not be enough time for first responders to save them or rescue them. So that's a pretty good argument for making a plan. And maybe you don't tell them how to make the plan, but just get them thinking about what are they really going to do in that situation?
Right.
You know, and maybe they don't need to have a strong relationship with their neighborhood or their neighbors, but they may be motivated enough just to at least introduce themselves and make sure the neighbors are aware of their situation. And then also, I think, is it the Vial of Life, Becky, or is there another program where you can put a sticker on like your front door or in your front window that alerts first responders to look for that? Or there might even be another sticker that they can have, or they can even just like put a note that says, you know, we're wheelchair bound, or non-mobile seniors, or something along those lines.
This is the best one just because they all know about this and they look for this purple writing, and you just put it in. If you don't have a window by your front door, maybe, you know, try to get it as close to the front door as possible. So when they're walking up, they can see that, oh, they have a Vial of Life and they know to go to the fridge. Most responders though know to go to the fridge if nobody's there. I mean, they already know that, but it's good to put that out there just so they know that it's there. This is a good one. This is the only one that I know of that has the sticker. I know there's other Vials of Life that other companies, you know, will hand out for free, of course, because they want you to, you know, to have all your information there. But this is the only one I know of that has a sticker.
And there's
oh, go ahead, Joanna.
There's an app on your phone called Emergency where you could have that in the upper left-hand corner of your phone, and the fire department and police know to look there immediately, and they press on it, and your information as your blood type, etc., is on there, allergies and conditions. It's an emergency app. It's called Emergency App.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I think Marlene was next. Is that right? Marlene, you had a question? You're gonna
Oh,
have
sorry,
to unmute.
Marlene.
You're gonna have to unmute yourself. There you go.
I live in a mobile home park also, and I have earthquake bracing. And they say with the earthquake bracing, your home supposedly won't fall down. I don't trust that. But it holds the piers. And I would say finding out maybe from the fire department if you're better off going where the marriage is of if you're a double wide, or where the piers are, or being in between piers, because the floor will bow, but if the roof came down for some reason and you were between the piers would hold the roof up, and maybe the middle would go down. And so they go the length of the mobile home, and they're metal piers.
Okay,
that
interesting. Yeah.
that the earthquake bracing holds. We had plan when the fires came through, and I was a block captain, and I went from house to house checking that the people were out and asking anyone who didn't drive, did they want me to take them to the shelter? Were they going to their kids? Could the kids pick them up at a shelter? But just like that couple who's in the house, they may decide that they're staying in the house no matter what, like some of the people did during the fire. They refused to go.
Right. There are always going to be those people, and you know, studies show that seniors get more stubborn as they age. And so, you know, Marilyn, it may be a case of they're not going to be willing to leave.
Don't forget, water lines and gas lines will break.
Well, you're supposed to know how to turn them off.
Yeah, and Anya's presentation touched on that a little bit. Joan, did you have a question?
I just wanted to say that I was impressed recently at the inauguration ceremony with the poet laureate who spoke. And I'm just as impressed with you, Anya.
Yeah.
I just feel like, wow, okay. Not only are you articulate, but you are really in touch with the pulse of what's happening here and doing something about it. And that gives me a lot of hope for the future for my grandchildren, who I was concerned about that, hey, are there anybody left that cares, okay? So I just wanted to say thank you very much for your presentation, and commend you on your just wonderfulness as a human being. And that's what I would like to say. Thank you.
Well, let's give her a round of applause. Thank you, Anya. You did a wonderful job.
I think the county would also, her presentation would be very good for the county's emergency preparedness website, that it covers all the things and more than the county website does. Oops.
Yes, that's great. Well, I'll make sure that we share this recording. And Anya, I know you said you have a website, or you're working on a website, and there were a lot of links in your presentation. So I think we can follow up with our Coffee Connection list and share this recording. And also, are you okay if we share the PDF of your slides as well?
I can send you the slides again because there's some changes I made, and I'll also send the link to my website right now.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Well, everybody stay safe this weekend.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
You're talking all about websites and everything, but I actually saw for some seniors like myself, I wouldn't know what a website was. I mean, I got this Zoom thing because of my daughter and her iPad, okay? But for a lot of seniors, websites are like mazes without doors, okay? you know, so if there were some other way also that you could connect with people who have absolutely no technological expertise, that's just something to think about. And I wanted to say about that whistle thing. I remember in the 70s when we had an earthquake that was unbelievable in LA, and I happened to be there. And I remember that a worker in a care home was found 4 days later alive under a bathtub, okay? And I thought to myself, oh my God, if he had only found a whistle and had one, you know, he might have been found sooner. Anyway, but thank you. Thank you so much, Anya. Much appreciated. And much appreciated, Sarah and Becky, for bringing Anya to our, you know, our little coffee clutch here. Thank you.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
One more thing. One more
Okay,
thing.
Becky,
I
you
just want
have the
to tell
last word.
Marlene, I'm working on your question.
Okay. And I'll work on the go bags, and I'll get an inventory of what we have, and I'll circle back around on that next week.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I've never learned so much from an audience as I learned today. Like the whole discussion we had after, really, I learned a lot. Thank you for everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anya. Let us know how it goes with the gold level, the gold award as well.
Yeah, this alone, here's somebody who's willing to learn from seniors who aren't just thinking, oh, well, they're a bunch of old people who don't know a darn thing. Thank you for that. Even that's a big thing. Okay.
Marilyn, did you have something you wanted to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Becky. She said about the little thing she showed, the little sticker or like a magnet or whatever it was. How do we get? Yeah, how do we get that?
So write down this phone number.
Okay.
It's also in the chat.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
But
okay.
but you can read it off, Becky.
You ready? 1-800 510 2020.
Great.
And tell them you want the vial of life. And it comes like this. It's a little plastic envelope that's got a magnet on the back. And this is the, you know, it's a piece of paper you fill out. You don't have to fill out everything, but the major stuff you need to fill out. And then you put this sticker on your window by the front door.
That's great. Oh, okay, great. All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
This is a very quick thing. I also keep my will on my kitchen counter. I know it takes up room, but I live alone, and if I keel over and go to heaven, somebody knows where the material things go.
Joanna, put it in your vial of life.
Oh, it's too much.
Too big.
Well, so in here is your important information. It's who to contact in case something happens to you. It's who to contact. And you can put in there, you know, look at the left drawer on the side of my desk or whatever. You also put your healthcare directive in here.
Okay, yeah, I did.
Usually just 1 or 2 pages. So that will fit in here. That is very necessary. If somebody comes, if the paramedics come to your house, they need that healthcare directive.
Okay, thank you. That's very good.
We could do a whole nother presentation on healthcare directive. We just heard Becky and I just heard a speaker on that on Tuesday. So maybe in the future we'll work on that as well. All right. Well, I've got to sign off. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay dry and warm out there. If you bye.
Thank you, everybody.
And Anya. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Becky, I'm going to call you.
Okie dokie.